Hey everybody, what's up? I'm your girl, BrettFavre, BuzzzTweet Talk Radio, the no audience podcast for the scattered together, the sons and daughters of the diaspora. Okay, so I watched this TV series called Swagger. I don't know if any of you have ever heard of it, but it's about a basketball prodigy that navigates a maze of pressure if he's going to overcome the odds against him and learn what it truly means to have swagger. About it's based in Seat Pleasant, Maryland, about young basketball players um, trying to make their way to the NBA. One of the producers on the show is Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant, however you want to say it. One of my favorite episodes was the one where they visited a corrections center. I'm not going to talk about it, but that was one of my favorite episodes that had me crying when they visited a corrections center and one of their ex basketball players was um, in that facility. Kind of made me cry, but I say that because this is a perfect leeway to my next story about a former NBA draft pick who is sentenced to 10 years in prison in a $4 million health scam, right? A $4 million healthcare fraud. A federal judge sentenced him to 10 years in prison, saying he used his people's skills to entice others to aid his $5 million healthcare fraud after he frittered away substantial earnings from his professional career. Terrence Williams, who is 36 of Seattle, was also ordered to forfeit more than $650,000 and to pay $2.5 million in restitution for ripping off the NBA's health and welfare benefit plan between 2017 and 2021 with the help of a dentist in California and doctors in California and Washington State. Profits were generated by claims for fictitious medical and dental expenses. Prosecutors said fraudulent invoices created by the medical professionals were processed by other people whom Williams recruited to defraud the plan, which provides health benefits to eligible active and former NBA players and their families. You were yet another player who frittered away substantial earnings from the period of time when you were playing basketball professionally, Judge Valerie E. Caproni told him. You should have had enough money to be set for life, but you don't. Williams was picked number 11 in the 2009 draft by what was then the New Jersey Nets. Before his career ended in 2013, he played for the Nets, Boston Celtics, Houston Rockets, and Sacramento Kings. Williams had pleaded guilty to conspiracy to commit healthcare and wire fraud, and aggravated identity theft in a case that resulted in criminal charges against 18 former NBA players. So far, 13 have pleaded guilty to charges. Of those who have been sentenced, many have received time served or probation, meaning they didn't have to go to prison. At least 10 of the ex-players paid kickbacks totaling about $230,000 to Williams. For the most part, the ex-players charged had journeyman careers playing for several different teams and never reached anywhere close to the enormous stardom or salary that top players command. Still, the 18 players made a combined $343 million during their on-court NBA careers, not counting outside income, endorsements, or what any may have made playing overseas. Before the sentence was announced, Williams choked up repeatedly as he blamed his crime on stupidity and greed and said he regretted that his incarceration will keep him from his 6 children, 2 of whom are now adults. I 1,000,000% take fully accountability for my role in this case, he said. He added that he came to court humbled and humiliated as he blamed his turn toward crime in part on an opioid addiction that developed after he took painkillers to cope with the pain of lingering injuries from his professional career. The judge, though, said it appeared that he used his big personality to lure friends and others to join him in the scheme to steal money because he didn't want to seek legitimate employment. She said his behavior was extortionate, aggressive, and his motivation, she added, was greed. You think first and foremost about yourself and not others, she said. She said she was going to require him to participate in a program that teaches how to manage money. As for what happened to his NBA earnings, she said, my guess is it was just frittered away on stupid stuff. U.S. Attorney Damian Williams said the defendant, who played for Louisville in college, recruited medical professionals and others to carry out a criminal conspiracy and maximize illegal profits. Williams not only lined his pockets through fraud and deceit, but he also stole the identities of others and threatened a witness to further his criminal endeavors. For his brazen criminal acts, Williams now faces years in prison. He has been incarcerated since May of 2022 when prosecutors allege that he sent threatening phone texts to a witness in the case. And this also takes me to Brett Favre, the Hall of Fame quarterback Brett Favre, who is in hot water for his connection in Mississippi welfare scandal involving the misappropriation of roughly $77 million. Favre, who has not been criminally charged, has denied knowing that the money he received for different projects was welfare money. Court filings, text messages, and text records show the complexity of the situation. The entire scam, the entire welfare scandal is Mississippi's largest ever public corruption case. It involves money from the Temporary Assistance for Needy Families, TANF, from that program, and a federal program that provides grant funds to states and territories to help families in need. According to the benefits.gov website, state administered programs may include child care assistance, job preparation, and work assistance. On September 22nd, 2022, former executive director of Mississippi Department of Human Services, John Davis, pleaded guilty for one count of conspiracy and one count of theft concerning programs receiving federal funds. The Department of Justice said Davis worked with four unnamed co-conspirators. MDHS provided federal funds to two nonprofit organizations and then directed the two nonprofit organizations to fraudulently awarded contracts to various entities and individuals for social services that were never provided. Read the release. Davis was originally going to be sentenced on February 2nd, 2023, but the U.S. Attorney's Office for Southern Mississippi requested a delay because sentencing in this case would be complex. In the summer of 2017, Favre began to ask then Mississippi Governor Phil Bryant for funding for a new volleyball facility at the University of Southern Mississippi, his alma mater, and the same school at which his daughter played volleyball. Text messages from August 3rd, 2017 show Favre asking MCEC founder Nancy New about privacy regarding payments to him. If you were to pay me, is there any way the media can find out where it came from and how much, he asked. She reassured him that the information would not be made public. The next day, she told him that Bryant was on board and their plan. Bryant was on board with their plan. New Nancy knew, that is, and her son Zach pleaded guilty to 13 felony counts relating to the scandal earlier in 2022. According to an audit. Favre was paid $500,000 in December of 2017 and $600,000 in June of 2018 for appearances and speeches at multiple events that he did not even attend. Favre said he filmed commercials for the nonprofit organization, and that's why he was given the money. The auditor later revealed that Favre's contract stated that he needed to give speeches and a radio advertisement. Favre is also tied to a pharmaceutical company that has been named in the Mississippi scandal. Mississippi Today reported that Favre briefed Bryant on Privacus, a company in which Favre was a top investor in. Per report, the company received $2.15 million from the scheme. Some text messages from 2018 obtained by Mississippi Today showed that Privacus founder Jake Van Landingham and Favre offered Bryant shares of the company. White ended up naming Bryant as the whistleblower that led to high-profile arrest in the welfare scandal. The drug company, now called Odyssey Health, was said to be developing a nasal spray designed to treat concussions. Six-time U.S. Soccer Athlete of the Year Abby Wambach was a member of the Sports Advisory Board, but as of September 29, 2022, she cut ties with the company, per ESPN. The $5 million volleyball facility was not the only project Favre was interested in. At Southern Mississippi in July of 2019, Favre also appeared to want money for a new football facility at Southern Miss to help recruit quarterback Shedeur Sanders, Deion Sanders' son, by luring him with an indoor football facility. As I suspected, Deion's son asked where the indoor facility was, and I said, "We don't have one, but we are hoping to break ground in less than 2 years." Favre texted Bryant, per ESPN. Now, that will not happen without your help or your commitment. I know we have the volleyball to complete first, and I'm asking a lot with that. And I believe 100% that if you can get this done, Nancy will reach and help many. And in the recruiting war, a new indoor practice facility will give USM's football program instant credibility and will become relevant again. ESPN reporter reported that Billy Quinn, a lawyer representing Bryant, said a court filing shows that Favre continued to press for state funds, first from DHS and later in a legislative appropriation. On July 28, 2019, Bryant texted Favre that the use of funds is tightly controlled and that any improper use could result in violation of federal law. Auditors are currently reviewing the use of these funds. Just over a month later, on September 4th, 2019, text messages showed that Favre was putting more pressure on Bryant. And this is a rather long article, but you get the gist of the welfare scandal that Brett Favre is involved in. But unfortunately, Terrence Williams got sentenced to a 10-year prison sentence and a $4 million health care fraud, while Brett Favre is walking around free. Let me know what y'all think about this or don't. I don't care. It's your girl, BrettFavre, BuzzzTweet Talk Radio, the No Audience podcast for the scattered till he gathered the sons and daughters of the diaspora. Okay? Okay.